Welcome back, students. In our course of operation research, today we are going to discuss about the minimization type of sum in the simplex method. So here the question is minimize the z that is equal to x1 minus 3x2 plus 3x3, and the constraints are 3x1 minus x2 plus 2x3 less or equal to 7, 2x1 plus 4x2 greater than or equal to minus 12, minus 4x1 plus 3x2 plus 8x3 less than or equal to 10, where x1, x2, x3 our all variables are greater than or equal to 0. Here we can see that our objective function is of minimization type. So we need to check for the condition, that is our all Cj minus Zj should be greater than or equal to 0, so that we can reach the optimum solution. So students, you need to remember that whenever we are going to solve the sum of minimization, our condition is all Cj minus Zj should be greater than or equal to 0. One more important thing about the linear programming problem is whenever you are having the right hand side is a negative, then your right hand side of the second constraint, which is right now negative, it should be modified, and we are going to multiply it by minus 1. So our modified second constraint become minus 2x1 minus 4x2 less than or equal to 12. Here it is important that whenever you are going to solve the linear programming problem, you need to check that all your constraint having the positive right hand side. If it is given negative, then first convert into the positive, then go for the solution. Now our standard form of linear programming problem is minimize z that is equal to x1 minus 3x2 plus 3x3 plus 0 times s1 plus 0 times s2 plus 0 times s3. So these s1, s2 and s3 are our slack variable because we are having the three different constraints. So we are using three slack variables. Our all constraints are less than or equal to type of constraint. Our constraints are modified as 3x1 minus x2 plus 2x3 plus s1 that is equal to 7. So here it is less than or equal to, now it becomes plus s1 equals to 7. Same way our second modified constraint, that is minus 2x1 minus 4x2 less than or equal to 12, it becomes minus 2x1 minus 4x2 plus s2 that is equal to 12. Same way our third constraint, that becomes minus 4x1 plus 3x2 plus 8x3 plus s3 that is equal to 10. So in place of less than or equal to, we are putting plus s3 equals to, and right hand side that is 10. Here we can say that our x1, x2, x3 all are greater than or equal to 0, and also our s1, s2, s3 are greater than or equal to 0. So after converting our linear programming problem into the standard formulation, now we are going for the initial basic feasible solution. In our initial basic feasible solution, first we are taking the x1 is equal to x2 is equal to x3, and that equals to 0. So we are taking our all basic variable that equals to 0, and we are finding our non-basic variable, that is s1 equals to 7, s2 equals to 12 and s3 equals to 3 from these three constraints. When we put x1, x2 and x3, that is equal to 0. When I am putting the all values, that x1, x2, x3, s1, s2, s3 values in the function of z, then we are getting the value of z that is equal to 0. So this is our first solution. And our first solution, that is initial basic feasible solution, and that is x1, x2, x3 values as 0, s1, s2 and s3 values are 7, 12 and 10 respectively, and our z value is 0. Now our next task is to convert this initial basic feasible solution into the tabular form. So we are taking the standard simplex table. In that we are writing our variables, first basic variable x1, x2, x3. Then after the non-basic variable s1, s2, s3, after that we are writing the right hand side values and the theta. Our first task is to write down the objective function in the simplex table. So writing down the objective function as 1 times x1 plus minus 3 times x2 plus 3 times x3 plus 0 times s1 plus 0 times s2 plus 0 times s3. So these numbers are the coefficient of our variables, and that we have mentioned here. After that, in the third row, here we are going to write down the coefficient of our first constraint. So this is our first constraint, 3 times x1 minus x2 plus 2x3 plus s1, that is equal to 7. So that coefficient of x1 is 3, coefficient of x2 is minus 1, coefficient of x3 is 2, and s1 is 1. In this equation there is no s2 and s3, so we are writing 0 and 0. The same way for the second constraint, we are writing the coefficient of x1 as a minus 2, coefficient of x2 as a minus 4. x3 was not there, so write down 0. s1 and s3 also not there, so for s1 and s3 we are writing 0. And there is s2, so we are writing 1 here. Same way for the third constraint, we are writing the coefficient as minus 4, 3, 8, 0, 0 and 1. s1 and s2 is not there, so we are writing 0 and 0 here. So this is how we are converting our objective function and constraint into the tabular form. After that, we are just writing down the solution, that is initial basic feasible solution, and it says that our s1 value is 7 from the first constraint. So for the first constraint we are writing variable s1 and answer is 7 here. Same way from the second constraint we are writing that s2, that is equal to 12, so variable is s2 and the right hand side value is 12. And at last we are writing that is s3 equals to 10 from the third equation, so variable is s3 and value will be 10. Now here it is mentioned that Cz means the coefficient in the objective function. So s1, s2 and s3 having the 0, 0 and 0 as the coefficient, so we are writing 0, 0 and 0. You can also write down this value from here. So here there is s1, s2 and s3, and above that there is 0, 0 and 0. So from here also you can write down the value 0, 0 and 0. Now our next task is to find out the Zj. So for writing down the Zj, you need to multiply two columns. So for example, if you want to write down the Zj value for x1, then you need to multiply these values with these values. So I am writing this 0, 0 and 0 here, and this 3, 2 and minus 4 here. First we will multiply this value and then we will add with the respective rows. So this way 0 into 3 plus 0 into minus 2 plus 0 into minus 4. So ultimately for any of the column we need to multiply the numbers with the Cz values and we need to add row wise to get the value of Zj. So here if I multiplied 0 with the 3 plus 0 with the minus 2 plus 0 with the minus 4, I will get answer as a 0. So the 0 plus 0 plus 0, my answer will be 0, and that 0 will come here. So here I am writing the 0. The same way for other variables, when I am finding the Zj value, it will be 0. For RHS also we are going to find out the value of Zj, and that gives me the value of my function. So this Z is equal to 0 value that is reflected here in the column of RHS. So whenever in future we are getting some other values here in this box, it shows the value of your objective function, and these three values are just representation of these variables s1, s2 and s3. So this is how we are converting our initial basic feasible solution into the standard simplex table. Our next task is to find out the value of Cj minus Zj. So for finding out the value of Cj minus Zj, we are just simply subtracting this 1 minus 0. So we are getting the answer 1. Same way we are subtracting minus 3 minus 0. So we are getting the answer minus 3. So for other columns we are getting the 3, 0, 0 and 0. When we are subtracting the row of Cz from the row of Zj. So this is simply the subtraction from Cj minus Zj. We are getting the values, that is 1, minus 3, 3, 0, 0 and 0. We need to do for all the variables. At the initial, we define that whatever the Cj minus Zj, it should be greater than or equal to 0. Then only we are having the optimum solution. But right now our all Cj minus Zj that are not greater than or equal to 0. We are having one negative value. So that here all Cj minus Zj is not greater than or equal to 0. So minimum value, that is minus 3, is selected and that columns become the key column. So now we are having the key column, that is column of x2. So this is my key column. Now I need to find out which will be my key row. So for that we need to define the value of theta, and theta is nothing but the replacement ratio. It is defined as the ratio of the right hand side value of the constraint to the respective key column member. So our replacement ratio theta, that is equal to right hand side value, that is this RHS value, and which is divided by respective key column member. So right now our key column is this. So 7 will be divided by minus 1, 12 will be divided by minus 4 and 10 will be divided by 3. Again I am repeating, for this theta value just we are noting with the theta 1, theta 2 and theta 3. So our 7 value will be divided by minus 1 because in this first row RHS value is 7 and respective key column member is minus 1. So 7 is divided by minus 1. So our answer is minus 7. Same way for second, our RHS value is 12 which is divided by minus 4. So it is 12 divided by minus 4, answer will be minus 3. And for the third row, our RHS value is 10. So we are writing 10 here and it is divided by respective key column member, that is 3 right now. So it is 10 divided by 3. So we are getting 3.33 value. But it is important to know that whenever we are finding the key row, we need to select the least non-negative theta. Whatever the key column you are selecting, for that the theta value will be least non-negative. So you cannot consider the negative values. So right now theta 1 and theta 2 are negative values. So we are not considering these values. So theta 3, that is 3.33, is our least non-negative value. So our third row becomes the key row. So we are just writing down that our key row is the third row and these theta's values are mentioned here, minus 7, minus 3 and 3.33, and we are highlighting the third row as our key row. So this is our key row, the row of S3. This is our key column, column of X2, and this 3 is our key element. So now we are having our key column, key row and our key element, that is 3. Now we are going to modify our table. So we are starting the second iteration. For second iteration, we can say that our x2 will replace s3 in a next iteration. Why it is so? Because our key column having the variable x2 and our key row having the variable s3. So always the key column variable is replacing the key row variable. So x2 will replace s3 in the next iteration. So we are again writing down the new table of the simplex where our first two row will be same S1, S2 will be same. Just in place of S3 we are having now X2. So this is the only change. When we are changing here, so automatically the coefficient, that X2 coefficient is -3. So we need to write down the -3 here. Now we are going to modify these numbers, and that modification is like this. Whenever we are going for the new iteration, to make the key element 1, so whatever the key element we are having right now, it is 3. So first we need to modify this number as a 1. So for that modification, our row operation is whatever the old third row, that means this old third row, that will be divided by 3. Why only 3? The reason is 3 is our key element. So whatever your old row, that is divided by key element, and that becomes the new row. So we are simply writing down the old elements, that is -4, 3, 8, 0, 0, 1 and 10. So these are my old elements, which is divided by 3, and my new elements becomes -4 by 3, 1, 8 by 3, 0, 0, 1 by 3 and 10 by 3. So this is my old third row and this is my new third row. So I am mentioning this new third row here. So it will look like this: -4 by 3, 1, 8 by 3, 0, 0, 1 by 3, and my new value of RHS, that is 10 by 3 for the variable x2. So now in our solution there is new variable x2 and its value is 10 by 3. Now after modification of the key row, we are going to modify other two rows, and we want 0 and 0 here in the column of x2. So above or below elements of the key element, that is above and or below, that is if there is another rows here, then above and below elements will be 0. So to make that, we need to modify the above and below rows. So right now we are going for the modification of the second row, and that will be modified as this. So whatever your old row and what will be your new key row, between them you are having some mathematical equations, and that will gives you the new second row. So here just I am writing down the old row, that is -2, 4, 0, 0, 1, 0 and 12. So that is mentioning here. My modified new key row, that will be here -4 by 3, 1, 8 by 3, 0, 0, 1 by 3 and 10 by 3. And I want 0 in the second place. So here in second place I want 0. So we need to make some kind of mathematical equation between these so that I get the 0 here. For that I need to multiply this value with the 4 and then addition. So right now we are mentioning like this. So first we are going to add 4 times of this value and we will get the answer. So this value 1 is multiplied by 4 and then addition. So that thing will be done for the all elements. So when I'm multiplying this value with the 4 and adding, I got the -22 by 3. Same way here I'm 8 by 3 is multiplied by 4. So it becomes 32 by 3. Same way when 0 is multiplied by 4 and add in the 0 becomes 0 only. Here a 0 is multiplied by 4 and it is added to 1, the answer will be 1. Here 4 is multiplied by 1 by 3 and it is added to the 0, so answer will be 4 by 3. And at last you can see that the 12 plus 4 into 10 by 3, so it becomes 12 plus 40 by 3, so that will become 12 by 3, that is 36 plus 40, 76 divided by 3. So it is you need to remember this kind of equation, that whatever your old row, that would be having some kind of mathematical equation with the new modified key row for getting the new row in the simplex method table. So these elements now I am going to write down here, and that will be minus 22 by 3, 0, 32 by 3, 0, 1, 4 by 3 and 76 by 3. So this kind of row operation that is required for updating your second row. So to remember this kind of operation, here I am providing you one equation. So this is very important equation, because every time making the new mathematical equation, it is very difficult. So we require some kind of equations. So from that equations, you can just put down the value and get the new row. So that equation is your old row, that is this one, minus, in the bracket you are considering respective key column member into modified key row. So here you can see that modified key row elements that are here, respective key column member. So for second row, the respective key column member is minus 4. So when I am multiplying minus 4 and again there is a minus here, so that minus minus become plus. So it is mentioned plus 4. So the right equation that you need to remember, so you can just note down this value and this equation as old row minus, in the bracket, respective key column member multiplied by modified key row, and that becomes our new row. So whenever you need to modify any row, you can just simply apply this kind of equation and you will get the answer. So now we are going to modify the first row, the only row which is left. And for that, we are going to apply the same equation that we have discussed. So right now we are first mentioning that equation and then we are going for the modification. So the equation was old row minus respective key column member multiplied by modified key row. So the old row members are written here, that is 3, minus 1, 2, 1, 0, 0 and 7, because on a first row that are the members. Then after it is mentioned plus 1. So how plus 1 came? Because here it is minus sign and here it is mentioned respective key column member. So minus respective key column member. So right now respective key column member is minus 1. So minus, in the bracket, minus 1, that will become plus 1. And modified key row, that members are written here. So after simplification, you can get these new row members, and that are 5 by 3, 0, 14 by 3, 1, 0, 1 by 3 and 31 by 3. And these members are just written here in the first column which is left. So this is how we are modifying our simplex table. Now, after having the new iteration table, we need to find out the value of Zj. As in previous table, we are going to modify this coefficient of objective function, that is column of Cz, with the respective column of variable, and we are getting the answer of Zj. For example, if I want the answer in the column of x1, then I need to multiply these values, that is 0, 0 and minus 3, with this value 5 by 3, minus 22 by 3 and 4 by 3, and I get the answer as a 4. So this 0 is first multiplied by 5 by 3, so 0 into 5 by 3. Then we are adding with the 0 multiplied by minus 22 by 3. Again we are adding, that is minus 3 multiplied by minus 4 by 3. So these 3 and 3 got cancelled out, minus 1 and minus 4 multiplication, that is plus 4. So this is how we are getting the value of Zj. The column of Cz is multiplied by the column of variable, and we get the answer as a 4 for the first column. So this 4 value that will be written here. So same way for other columns you can find out the answer. Here we are finding the answer for the right hand side also, and it gives me the updated solution for my objective function. In the last solution, the value of z was 0. But in this solution, my z becomes minus 3. Sorry, my z becomes minus 10. So comparatively the last result, value of z is now decreased. And that's the ultimate aim, because our function is of minimization type. And our updated solution having three variables s1, s2 and x2, and their values are 31 by 3, 76 by 3 and 10 by 3. Now we need to check whether this solution is optimal or not. So for finding out the optimum solutions, we require Cj minus Zj. So this row of Cj minus this row of Zj, so 1 minus 4 we get minus 3, minus 3 minus minus 3 we get 0, 3 minus minus 8 we got 11, 0 minus 0 that is 0, same way 0 minus 0 that is 0, and at last 0 minus minus 1 that is plus 1. So here you can see that your all Cj minus Zj that are not greater than or equal to 0. There is one negative value, so it becomes our key column. So this column of x1 becomes our key column, and when we are going for the value of theta, that is replacement ratio, right hand side divided by respective key column member as discussed earlier. So this right hand side 31 by 3, 76 by 3 and 10 by 3, that would be divided by respective key column member. So right now key column is this x1. So that is divided by 5 by 3, 22 by 3 and minus 4 by 3. So these values are written here, and whatever we are getting, that ratio, that is 31 by 5, and here it is mentioned dash and dash. Why dash? Because these values are negative. We don't need to consider these negative values. So simply we are considering the positive value. So we are getting this 31 by 5 and other twos as a dash and dash, and we are mentioning these values here. So we are having the only one value. So our S1 row becomes our key row. So this is my key row. Now this is my key column and this is my key row. From that I can say that X1 will replace S1. Or you can say that S1 will be replaced by X1, or simply you can just say S1 is my outgoing variable and X1 is my incoming variable. So this is my key column, this is my key row, and I am having the key element that is 5 by 3. But in my new table, in place of S1 I am writing X1. The reason is this is my outgoing variable and this is my incoming variable from key column and key row of the last table. So here I am mentioning X1, X2 and X2, it is same as the previous table. Here in previous table that was 0, now it is 1 because above the X1 there is 1. In objective function the coefficient of X1 is 1, so here it is 1, and so here we are mentioning 1. Now again we need to go for the modification of the these values. So for that we are starting with the key row, and our equation is whatever your old key row, that would be divided by key element. Previously also we have did same. In previous table we are having the 3 as our key element, so we have divided by 3. So right now it is 5 by 3. So whatever our old key row, that members are 5 by 3, 0, 14 by 3, 1, 0, 1 by 3, so 1, 0, 1 by 3 here, and 31 by 3 here, and that would be divided by 5 by 3, that is my key element, and I got the new elements as 5 by 3 divided by 5 by 3 as 1, same way 0 divided by 5 by 3 again 0, same other elements I getting 14 by 5, 3 by 5, 0, 1 by 5 and 31 by 5. So these are my new elements for the key row. So I am mentioning that elements in this key row, in the first row. As I want key element modified as a 1, so in place of 5 by 3 now I am having 1. In the new table of simplex method, we want 0 and 0 here in these two places. So we will modify it in such a way that we got 0 and 0 here. So right now we have just done with the key row modification for the new iteration, and we got the x1 answer as a 31/5. Now we are going for the second row modification. In the second row modification, our equation is old second row minus respective key column member, which will be multiplied by modified key row, and we got the new second row. So these are the old members of the second row, that is minus 22/3, 0, 32/3, 0, 1 and 4/3. At last it is 76/3, which would be subtracted from the respective key column member. So respective key column member is minus 22/3. So here it is mentioned minus 22/3. And modified key members. So modified key members, you can see here, these are my modified key members, and that I got the answer, that is 0, 0, 156/5, 22/5, 1, 14/5, 354/5. So this is how I got the new second row, and that I am going to explain here. That is 0, 0, 156/5, 22/5, 1, 14/5 and at last 354/5. Now we are going for the modification of our last row, which is the only row left. So now we are going for modification of our last, that is our third row. So the equation is old third row minus respective key column member multiplied by modified key row, that is equal to new third row. So first I am mentioning the old third row member. So these are the minus 4/3, here 1, then 8/3 here, then 0, again there is 0, there is 1/3 and there is 10/3. So these are the members of our old third row. Then we are having minus sign. Then we are having the respective key column member. So in a third row, the key column member is minus 4/3. So just I have mentioned minus 4/3, which will be multiplied by the modified key row. So this is the modified key row. Here you can see that this is my modified key row 1, 0, 14/5, 3/5, 0 and 1/5, and at last 31/5. And after having the simplification, I got 0 because minus 4/3 minus 4/3. So there is 0. Same way when you are going for these modifications, you got 1, 32/5, 4/5, 0, 3/5 and 58/5. So these are the member of my new third row. So I am writing down these members in this row. So this is how we got our new simplex table. So this is my third iteration, and in third iteration I got x1 equals to 31/5, s2 equals to 354/5 and x2 equals to 58/5. Now our task is to find out the zj again. Again we are having the same procedure. If you want to find out the zj, you need to multiply this 1 with the 1. So here it is multiplication of 1 with the 1 plus this 0 into 0. So here again 0 into 0 plus this minus 3 into 0. So we got in the column of x1 we got the 1. Same when we are going for the x2 for this column. So here you can see that 1 is multiplied by 0. So here it is mentioned 1 is multiplied by 0 plus 0 is multiplied by 0. So this is 0 multiplied by 0 plus this minus 3 is multiplied by 1. So minus 3 is multiplied by 1. We got the answer minus 3. When we are going for the x3, so 1 is multiplied by 14/5 plus 0 is multiplied by 156/5 plus minus 3 is multiplied by 32/5. So we got the answer minus 82/5. Same way when we are going for the S1 column, so 1 multiplied by 3 by 5, 0 multiplied by 22 by 5, and minus 3 is multiplied by 4 by 5. So addition of these we get minus 9 by 5. Same for S2, 1 is multiplied by 0, so answer will be 0. 0 is multiplied by 1, so again answer will be 0. And minus 3 is multiplied by 0, so we are having 0 as S2 column Zj value. We are going for the S3 as well. So for S3, this 1 is multiplied by 1 by 5, so here it is mentioned. 0 is multiplied by 14 by 5, so here it is mentioned. And minus 3 is multiplied by 3 by 5. So we got the answer minus 8 by 5. And at last, for the right hand side value, that is in this column, we are having 1 multiplication with the 31 by 5. So 1 multiplied by 31 by 5 plus this 0 will be multiplied by this 354 by 5. So 0 is multiplied by 354 by 5 plus minus 3 is multiplied by 58 by 5. So by simplification of this, we got minus 143 by 5 here in the column of RHS. So we are just mentioning these values here. So 1, that is minus 3, minus 82 by 5, minus 9 by 5, 0, minus 8 by 5, and minus 143 by 5. So in this new solution, we are having three variables, that is x1, s2 and x2, and their values are 31 by 5, 354 by 5, 58 by 5, and our z value is now minus 143 by 5. So again we are having the decreased answer. Let's check whether this answer is optimum solution or not. So for that we require Cj minus Zj. So here Cj is 1 and Zj is 1, so 1 minus 1, that is 0. Same way minus 3 minus 3, so again 0. 3 minus 82 by 5, so answer will be 97 by 5. 0 minus 9 by 5, so answer will be 9 by 5. 0 minus 0, answer will be 0. And at last 0 minus 8 by 5, answer will be 8 by 5. So here you can see that your all Cj minus Zj are greater than or equal to 0. So we reaches to the optimum solution. And when we are having the optimum solution, so we don't need to go for the next iteration. And our solution is x1, x2, x3, s1, s2, s3. These are my variables. 3 are the basic variable. These 3 non-basic variable, you can say slack variable. And at last, z, which I need to minimize. And answer is x1 value is 31 by 5 from this table. x1 is variable and right hand side 31 by 5. So it is mentioned here. So x1 value is 31 by 5. x2 value is 58 by 5 because here it is in the column x2 variable. We are having the 58 by 5 in the right hand side column. So this is 58 by 5 answer of x2. x3, s1 are not the part of this column. So we are having 0 and 0. There is s2 and the answer is 354 by 5. So this value of s2 is 354 by 5. There is no s3 in this solution, so s3 value is 0. And the minimum possible answer of z, which is minus 143 by 5. So this is my optimum solution. By putting these values in this equation, you can check the constraint and you got the minimum possible value of z, which is minus 143 by 5. So this is how we can solve the minimization type of sum. Thank you students for watching this video. We will come back with the Big M method in this course of operation research. Thank you so much.